This is a quick video in trying to understand something to do with, I believe, with some credit reconciliation or bank reconciliation. I got a question from somebody and they wanted me to help them figure out how do you take a number, say for example 1091, and find out which of these two numbers, like they just wanted two numbers, will add up to that number. So I believe this is something to do with accounting or bookkeeping, where you want to figure out if there is some discrepancy and you want to find out where the actual problem is. So we want to find it out and also then have them highlighted. So to solve this problem, I just wanted to look into it quickly, and I was able to find a solution to it. And I thought maybe it will help some people, and you could add more to it by looking into Goal Seek and Scenario Manager. And I've done a video for that, for which I'll leave you a link. I'll also put a link to this video if you wanted to practice. So what I have here is some dollar values in column A, and that goes up to all the way to column 123. And then what the solution offers us to do is that you put a column in which I just put number 1, and then I just fill handle, so it copied the number. And then here I did a multiplication, which is this number multiplied by this, and then I have my result. Now I have three cells here. So I put the target, which is what is the value you want to add the numbers up to. So two cells, two values should up to a number. Then in here I did a summation of the number C. So this is from C2 to C123. And then I just did a simple math, which is equal to this cell 1091, which is F3 minus F4, and I get my total here. Okay, so now to solve this problem, we have to use the solver add-in. Now if you don't have that, you'll have to go to the file button, and then you'll have to go to the options, and then you go to add-ins, and then you go to this on the bottom, you see the Excel add-ins go button, and then you have to choose the solver add-in. Choose it and then click OK, so it will be added. And once you do that, you'll see it in the data on the right hand side. You'll see the solver option, so I'll click it. Now in here what I told it is that I want to set the objective of F5, so I clicked on the cell F5, which is where the difference is, and I told it the value should be to 0, so that cell's difference should come up to 0 once I hit the solve option. And then what do I want him to change? I want them to change the values. I'm just going to move this. The ones and zeros, I want it to be changed, the ones and zeros in the column B, so that I will get the result that I want, that the value should come up to 0 in the differences. Okay. And I set three constraints. So you can click on the add button, and then you can choose the cell reference, which in this case is B2 colon B123, and I added the three constraints, which is greater than equal to 1, less than equal to 0, and it has to be equal to integer. And then I hit solve. Okay, and I'll click OK. And what you will find is that you see some of the results are appearance 1, and then solver went ahead and reduced it to 0 wherever it wasn't needed. But what it did, it actually used a lot of cell values to give me the result to come up to the difference of 0, which I did not want. So I'm just going to go back here, and I'll just click here 1, and then I'll fill handle all the way down up to cell 122 or 123 in this case, so that I'm back, and I'm back to the original thing. 1091 is the number I'm looking for. The sum of C is this, and that's the difference. So to figure this out, what I did is I created another cell here in which I did a summation of B2 to B123. So the total came up to 122 because there are 122 rows, so I just added the ones together. Now what I'm going to do is in the solver, I'm going to add another constraint and say that look at the cell E13, so this cell is E13, and make sure that when you are creating the solution, the total of that E13 should come up to number 2, because I only want to have a combination of two cells that should give me the result of 1091. So I'll go back to the solver in the data, and I'll add a constraint, and I'll click on the cell E13, and I'll say E13 should be equal to 2. Now you could put 3 if you were looking for like combination of 3 numbers, and I'll click OK. So you see that one is added. Now let's see, and I'm using the simplex LP. I haven't looked a lot into this in detail. There are 3 different types, but the simplex is doing the job here. And I'll hit solve, and it's doing its thing. It's doing a lot of things in the background, and I'll keep the solver solution, and I'll click OK. I could revert back to the original values if I wanted to, and I'll click OK. So now let's see. So you see all of these are 0 on the top. Let's scroll down, and you see there is 1 there, 90, and there should be 1 here, 1001. So it only found me 2 cells, and you see this E is 2 because the summation of column B is 2 now, and it found me the answer. And the other thing is, say I wanted to have this thing highlighted, so what I can do is I can click on B, and I can go to Home, Conditional Formatting, Highlight Cell Rules, and I say equal to. So I say if the cell has the number 1, I can say, make it red in color or whatever I wanted. So this is what's called the conditional formatting, and I click OK, so that wherever there is the 1, so that number will get highlighted in this way. So I can see that very easily. Okay. So just to try it again, I'm just going to put 1 here and just fill handle all the way down, and everybody will have that same color now because it's 1. And I'll change this to 832. That was the other number that I was looking for. And I'll go back to data and then solver, and I'll hit solve. So it's going to do its thing, and I'll click OK. So there it is, the difference has become 0. And let's see. So there's the 1, and there's the other one, and the total of 526 and 306 results to 832. Now the person had another question about how many numbers, how many combinations of these numbers will result in 1091, and I haven't been able to figure that out. If you have any suggestions, let me know. I'm pretty sure there's a way to do Visual Basic, which I don't know much about it. And so I hope that this can help you a little bit. And then you can also look into adding the scenario manager or goal seek, and that can help you to add some more functionality to this solver solution in this. So I'll try to put a link to my earlier video where I talked more about solver and what if analysis. Thanks for watching.